Don't do that.
Understand you want these?
Yes, ma'am. No. Okay. It's these.
Okay.
No, this is the first thing.
Well, that's what I thought. I was like, it's a case. Sorry.
You good? Okay, no problem.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually. Yeah, those are all.
Yeah, put it right in. So.
Hi.
We want to sit.
Yeah, we're bringing some. Okay. Here's one for now.
I'm sitting over here.
Okay, I can jot it down when he comes up to speak, because he'll have to say it anyways.
Oh, you're out of
Some more.
order. Okay. All right. Well, I can use that torn one.
That's
Oh,
the
that's
city
not yours.
council.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to say welcome to the January Metropolitan Planning Commission meeting. We're so happy to have you here and wishing all of you a happy new year. It is customary that we begin our meeting with an invocation followed by a pledge of allegiance to the flag. If you'd care to join us, would you please stand?
Please bow your heads. Father God, we come to you thanking you for a brand new year. Thanking you for allowing us the opportunity to see a day that we've never seen before. Lord, I want to thank you for everybody that's here today, Lord. Let our minds be, our hearts follow in your direction and your footstep, Lord. Let this meeting be what you would have it to be. In these names we say, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Thank you, Mr. Moss. At this particular time, we'll call for opening remarks. They are as follows. For public hearing agenda items today, if you wish to make public comments on an application, we have MPC comment slips at the speaker stand next to the podium. For future notification purposes, it is very important that you fill out a slip, drop it in the box when you come forward to speak. Please state your full name, your mailing address, and your zip code before addressing the board. We will call each case on the agenda in order and hear first from the applicant, then those speaking in favor of the application. 10 minutes are allocated to that principal spokesperson representing your group. Only 3 minutes will be allowed for each additional speaker. One representative of the application can then speak in rebuttal if desired after those two conditions have been completed. After hearing comments on each case, the board will then immediately deliberate and vote on that case before moving on to the next case on our agenda. Please note, when the board is deliberating, members of the public are not permitted to make any comments. Any member of the public may request a copy of the board's decisions on a particular case by contacting our office at 318-673-6480 after 1 p.m. on tomorrow, or by accessing our website at shreveportcattlempc.com. For consent agenda items and other agenda items not requiring a public hearing, public comments can be made upon request by filling out an MPC comment slip. If comments are requested for a specific agenda item, the chair will offer an opportunity for those comments prior to the commission taking action on the agenda item. All of the MPC Board's zoning recommendations are submitted to the City Council for a final decision. Please note that it is your responsibility to contact the appropriate governing body about procedures as it relates to the matters that you are concerned with. Copies of this document and the phone numbers to contact our governing bodies is available on the table next to the podium and in the entryway of this particular room. As a courtesy, please remember to turn off all cell phones while the MPC Board is in session. The Commission values your testimony, and we appreciate your compliance with these guidelines, and we thank you for being with us to start off the year 2026. At this particular time, we'll call for an approval of minutes from the December 3rd, 2025 board meeting.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Ms. Jackson, second by Mr. Sater. All those in favor, please say yes. Oppositions, no. Yes, sir. All right, you can just change it. It'll change for you. I'm having a challenge being able to vote at mine.
Me too.
Let's give us just a moment. All those in favor, raise your hand, please. Oppositions, raise your hand. The motion carries. All right, we'll proceed as the agenda calls for.
Get them now.
I'm sorry, what did I do?
No, ours are out. We're able to do ours.
Well, I'm not.
Not. He's still not.
All right, give us just a moment. In the meantime, we'll get ready to move into our cases on the agenda items. Case number 24-4-CAC, closure and abandonment, the Fortis Company, City of Shreveport. Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Surveyor here representing this case to close and abandon that portion of the drainage dedication from the original plat or Unit 3 of the North Highland Industrial Park. This will remain a drainage servitude or easement but would like the owners requested the property to be in their name. We have a one-lot subdivision that will be pending after the results of this meeting. Here to answer any questions.
Board members, do we have any questions for this particular applicant? All right, sir, thank you very much. Is there anyone else present who care to speak in favor of this application? Anyone else care to speak in favor? Anyone present who care to speak in opposition to this application? Any oppositions? All right, hearing none, may I have a motion, please?
Motion to accept.
Motion by
Second.
Mr. Sater to approve, second by Ms. Jackson. All those in favor vote yes, oppositions vote no. We had a motion, push your motion button, Mr. Hale. Okay. We've always had it, but we weren't using it.
Getting high tech here.
Okay, I'm voting yes.
Okay.
All right. That's okay. That motion carries, sir. Thank you very much. All right, item number 2, case number 25-104-C, zoning request, Volker and INC, Alley Piping Products. Is there anyone present who'd care to speak in favor of this particular request?
Yes, sir. Clinton Patrick with Volker Inc. and representing Alloy Piping Products. We are requesting that this be deferred. We were trying to work with the MPC staff to get some additional stuff kind of lined out, and just with the holidays, timelines just didn't meet up with us and the owner, so we're just asking for another deferment. And we're looking at least 60 days is what we would request if that's possible. We'd like to have another neighborhood meeting if possible.
All right, so any questions or comments from board members? Well, Mr. Quinton, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else present who'd care to speak in favor of this request? Anyone else who'd care to speak in favor? Is there anyone present who'd care to speak in opposition or happen to be present? Any opposition? All right, hearing none, what do I hear from board members?
Move to defer.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Moss to defer, second by Ms. Jackson. All those in favor vote yes, oppositions vote no.
Motion. All right, then. Yeah,
There we go.
all right.
All right, that motion carries. Thank you very much, board members. This particular time, we go to item number 8, case number 25-132-C, zoning request, Sheraton LLC. Is there anyone present representing that organization? All right.
Hello, everybody. My name is Grace. I represent Sheraton LLC. I'm also the property manager. We just requested need to change the zoning back from, because we've been using to have the B3. We even don't know it's being changed. And now the reason we found out, because I have a new tenant just leased my building, and he's doing the auto repair shop on the back. So not just for this particular tenant, because we also have other units we need to rent it to other people. And this building has been B3 since day one. We even don't know when it has been changed. So we just need to request it can be changed back. So my future tenant, any other business, for example, like a doggy trainers or furniture consignment or locksmith or roofing company, they can come to this shopping center, this building right here. They won't have any future problem. They don't need to apply for any special permit or anything to do their business.
I can appreciate your excitement. Could you give us your address, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. My address is 1550 Cross Lake Boulevard, Shreveport, Louisiana.
All right, board members, do we have any questions or comments concerning this application? I believe at some point, our staff took a look at what you're asking for, and there was some concern about that one. Chris?
How long have you owned the property?
Oh, over 15 years. So we've been B3 since the day one. And according to the tax assessor office record, we were classified garage, loft, and warehouses. So we've been doing light business, light industrial business since day one. And we even don't know when it has been changed until this particular tenant coming here, we find out. So, and I really appreciate Mr. Chris in the office and give me this, guide me how to do this, to change it back.
Did they discuss going for a C2 as opposed to C3?
Yes, I think the new code now is called C3. You don't have a B3 anymore, huh?
No, no B3.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so it's a C2 back to C3.
Mr. Jean?
The property is already C2. And so, as you were providing some information in the pre-briefing, this use that they're contemplating right now could be done through a special use permit. And that's the reason why staff was saying that the rezoning was not needed. Now, she's named some other uses today that might need the C3. So you want to take that in consideration in your deliberation.
Okay, board members? Mr.
Motion,
Ellison?
you want a motion?
Just a
One more
second.
question. So would you be agreeable to the special use permit under the C2 zoning?
Okay, that's the problem because we are not we're not just for one particular tenant. And we are own this property for so long. People in and out. So we don't want to have this kind of issue every time. Like right now, this tenant has to move to somewhere else until this thing being addressed. Then he can move back. I even don't know if he's coming back or not. So we need to change back to C3 to avoid future confusion.
She's saying she won't be able to.
Right. She needs to understand that the staff is denying the C3.
Yeah. We want to, what was your name again? I'm sorry.
Grace.
Grace. We want you to understand, make sure that you understand that the staff is denying it as a C3. So that's why Mr. Epperson asked you the question that he did.
I'm sorry, say one more time.
Okay. Grace, right? Am I saying it right?
Yes.
Okay. We want you to understand that the staff is denying you the approval for a C3. So that's why Mr. Epperson asked you the question that he did.
Yeah, I think I read his report because I just got his report yesterday afternoon because it sounds like he thought that we only, the reason we probably changed that just for one particular tenant. It's not. It's a whole shopping center because each one has a garage door on the back. It's all do the light industrial park. So it's supposed to be the C3. Now it's called the C3 because I thought it's still B3, but it's not. It's been changed. I don't know.
Okay.
So I have a question. So are you the owner of this, or you are speaking on the behalf of someone?
I'm the owner. I'm the manager.
Okay.
All right, Ms. Grace, is there anyone else here who'd care to speak in favor of this? We want to make sure that you understand. Is there anyone else here who's speaking in favor of your request that you know?
I don't have anybody with me.
All right. We want to make sure you understand that the way the staff has analyzed your request, that you're not eligible to get a C3. You're eligible for a C2. If you do not accept the C2, then your request for approval will be denied today.
Yeah, so that's why I think your staff misunderstood. He thought we just apply for that particular tenant. It's not. You know, we need to, because we also have other buildings, it's a whole building right there. We have other units right there. I think I probably give him the impression he thought we probably just change that for that particular tenant. It's not. It's also for other building, other units, because people in and out, you know. Next time we have a new other tenants, you know, so that's why we don't want to have this kind of issue in the future.
Okay. Staff, Mr. Jean, perhaps maybe we would consider
Yes.
defer and
Let-
continue.
Well,
until
let
we-
me just explain for the purpose of the board and for the public. When staff analyzes these cases, it's based off the information that we have on record. And we carefully word it that we believe that it's warranted to go a certain direction. But you, as the board, if you hear something in the meeting that is new information, then that's the reason why we write the staff report in the way to say, is that based off of information you hear at the hearing, you may do an alternative to that. So you do have the choice to do that based on that. Or if you feel like there's more information that you need from staff, you could defer this, and then we can make it a lot more clear what is trying to be accomplished here, and then you could vote with more information. So those are your two options. You could either approve it as requested, you could defer it, or of course, you could deny it altogether. But maybe the two options that you might want to consider is deferring it if you feel like there's a lot more information the staff needs to provide you.
Thank you, Mr. Jean. Mr. Balderas, I believe I got your.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can we make a,
Because I always want to make sure our perception to the community is a good perception. And so we've asked multiple times, we understand what the recommendation is, and we're prepared to vote accordingly. I just want to make sure there's no communication barrier or anything, that you have a clear understanding that it's been recommended that we deny your request as you have submitted. And I think I've heard you say 3 times that you understand that and that you can't make any modification, so there's not a need for us to defer. There's not we don't have to give you any extra time. You want us to vote, moving it from C2 to C3.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's all I need. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Elverson,
We
board
motion.
members?
Motion to deny. Any
Yeah.
opposition? Oh,
Is there anyone present who is opposed to this case at all? Anyone else present? All right, thank you.
he had something,
All right.
he had something, Mr. Harrison.
so a quick question, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Balderas.
So she's saying, the applicant is saying that her property, when she purchased it, was zone C3 or B3?
B3.
Used to be B3. And it has been changed by city without our knowing.
So could this be the case where she can get her old zoning back because of the,
That's why she's here.
okay?
So what is she trying?
Can I make a motion? Can I make a motion to approve?
Yes, sir.
Approval. Because she's taken away her right. She bought the property, well, the property was zone B3.
All right,
We
I
took
want
it
you
away.
to say that one more time, because, Mr. Jean, would you explain that, how the paperwork she has, the old paperwork that she has stated that it was B3, is that what we were saying?
That's correct.
But but it's been changed since then and updated to be C3. I'm sorry.
C2.
C2. And what she's asking for, to go back
She
to
wants to have that zoning restored,
restore it to
which the
C3.
equivalent would be C3.
And that's what Mr. Balderas
So
is saying.
B3 is equivalent with C3.
Correct.
Okay.
So I second the motion.
Okay.
So you would vote on that motion first
Yep, motion to approve.
to approve.
All right. I heard who made the motion, that's what okay, all right. Mr. Balderas made the motion to approve. Second by Mr. Elverson. All right, the motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, item number 9, case number 25-124, case number 25-142-C, zoning request, architect, Capital Investments.
Good afternoon. Jeff Spikes, 4740 Richmond Avenue, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71106. Got Omar Ali here also, who's one of the owners of the project. Good afternoon. So we're here today to ask for a rezoning of a portion of this site. Part of the site is already C2. We need the back portion to be C2 as well to do what we want to do here in this development. Basically, it's a one-off neighborhood market, convenience store with 2 local restaurants, gas pumps, and all the accoutrements that come with the development of this size. Key features will include clean, well-lit exterior and interior spaces, covered and landscape screened outdoor patio. The gas pumps are there. They're not the driver for the development, but they're needed for it to be fiscally feasible. This is not a national chain that's trying to come in and squeeze a prototype that they've got everywhere else into this neighborhood. This is a neighborhood informed development. We took cues from the neighborhood on the design of the building itself, and we've also taken great pains to try to make it fit into the neighborhood with things like landscaping and being stewards of the neighbors around us. So a few points of few statistics on the project. The total building size is 8,500 square feet. 4,000 of that will be the C-store neighborhood market space. We've got a couple of tenant-type spaces. One would be a restaurant on the end cap that you see there on the Atkins side with a drive-through around the back. We're doing things like noise abatement and low-volume drive-through speakers to abate the noise on that side. The owner also plans to have a surveillance system to be constantly monitored by the employees. It'll be a zero-tolerance policy for loitering or anything like that. Also looking at pedestrian connections to the neighborhood around. We've got some greenways to get us as close to the building as we can without conflicting with traffic. What you see here on the screen is a few cues that we took from the neighborhood around, places like the Highland Center, a couple of the houses on the block behind us. We tried to match the brick color to, again, try to make it fit in with the neighborhood. It's again, a one-off, locally owned, locally branded neighborhood market that we feel like will be a benefit to the neighborhood. That's about all I have on the overall project. I can take questions, or again, I've got the owner here if anybody would like to ask any questions.
Let's stay with you. We'll stay with you first because once you give up the mic, that's your opportunity to talk.
Gotcha.
Are there questions for this gentleman, Mr. Spikes, board members? All right, Mr. Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. Spikes. Mr. Ali, as you know, there is an ongoing effort to place Kings Highway on a road diet. And by that, I mean reducing the lanes from 4 to 2 with a turn lane in the middle, making it 3 in the area that adjoins Centenary College. Now, your site is not part of that at the present time, but the proponents are hopeful that that concept will succeed and carry on down Kings Highway past the Don Seafood location. I'm not real eloquent when it comes to describing this concern I have, so I'm going to ask your indulgence here, but it seems to me what you're proposing is more suited for a highway rather than a street. So There have been a number of proposals or suggestions, particularly at the neighborhood meeting that we all attended, or many of us did, to move the building closer to Kings Highway. Can you comment on that?
Right. Well, I mean, the way we've got it designed is optimal for the operation of a facility like this. Part of what we it's like we said in the meeting. You know, one of the obstacles to moving the building, kind of flip flopping it, is the light and some of the noise that the pumps generate will be, you know, facing the neighbors. One of the things we have done since the meeting is pull the dumpster enclosure further up from the back of the site, closer to Kings Highway. And to your point on the road diet, if you notice across the front of the site, we've got kind of a we didn't just pave all the way to the property line. We understand that there's a road diet going on. We understand that more green space means more desirable perimeters of our site for the neighborhood. So one of the things we did do, if you see the sidewalk along Kings Highway, bottom left there, there's a considerable green belt that we've left, and the road will go the other way, obviously, when there's a road diet, but that's us responding to some of the planning that's coming. We also talked in the neighborhood meeting about a dog park at the front of the site. That's an amenity that we kind of threw in there just to kind of be good stewards of our perimeter of our site and kind of soften those edges and provide just an amenity for folks that are, you know, pedestrians in the neighborhood. So yeah, I mean, the site it's like I said, every component that this project is comprised of is there because that's what we need to make it fiscally feasible. We understand that there are other gas stations in the neighborhood. This is not that. This is a neighborhood market that just happens to be a place that you can get gas as well. And so that's kind of where we landed on that. So
You're going to hear from the opponents in a few minutes, and after that, you're going to be allowed some time to rebut what they have to say. But I'd like to hear a little more discussion about this concept of Kings Highway as a highway or a street. And that's a little difficult, I think, for a lot of folks to really grasp, especially commuters, folks who use Kings Highway to get from east to west, as I used to do myself. But I'm starting to grasp what they're driving at, no pun intended, with regard to Kings Highway. And it does seem to me that this is a highway proposal and not a street proposal, not a neighborhood proposal.
I get it. It is on Kings Highway. So what were you going to say?
No, I'm saying it's a shopping strip, pretty much, not a...
Mr. Ali, before you speak, you need to identify yourself and your address, please.
All right, just a second before we do. Any more questions for Mr. Spikes? Okay, all right. He's the principal spokesperson. All right. Okay, sir, you're next.
Omar Ali, 143 Eagle Bend Road, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71105. So to answer your question, Bill, about the highway versus gas station on a highway versus a street. So pretty much this is like in typical big cities, these are all the way around everywhere in city limits, where it's like a shopping strip with restaurants and you have your dining with your fuels at the same time. So pretty much this is going to be pretty much two restaurants. We're going to have breakfast in the morning. We're going to have lunch, dinner, and all different amenities for the community as well around the whole area for people to come there as well. It's not just another gas station. And what we're doing there, it's going to be very beautiful, uplifting, and something for the community to enjoy when you drive by something beautiful scenery. Scenery is going to be nice there. And that's what we're trying to bring to the community and to our city. So to answer your question on highways, it's not going to look like a highway gas station. It's going to look like more so like a strip retail center with fuel pumps in it, pretty much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there other questions, Ms. Jackson?
I'm sorry. I don't know who I would really need to be referred to, but you're Mr.
Ali?
Ali,
Yes.
and you're Mr.
Spikes.
Spikes. Okay. My question is, well, what I want to say first is that I'm an advocate for communities and their well-being, because I feel what the residents and everybody are saying. But I am also seeing for improvements to our city. But what I want to ask you are you aware of the stipulations that they're asking you about if approved?
They being the board or
The special use permits and administrative special permits.
Yes, ma'am. We understand we still have to get special use permits for the drive-through, the gas pumps, and the beer wine sales.
Okay.
But I think that's separate from this meeting, right? Yes.
All right, any more questions from Mr. Ali? All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. Is there anyone else present who care to speak in favor of this request? Anyone else present who care to speak in favor of this request? All right, ladies and gentlemen, as I stated earlier in the opening of the meeting, the very first person representing the organization gets 10 minutes at the mic, and after that, each additional individual gets 3 minutes. And we'll entertain the spokesperson at this time.
Good afternoon. My name is Chris Lyon, 509 Market Street. I was invited by some of the neighborhood group members to come and be the opening speaker to the opposition because of the work that I've been doing with regards to Kings Highway revitalization. For those who don't know, the Kings Highway revitalization project has been ongoing for 2 years and is built on work that was started over 25 years ago for the Kings Highway project, which is what's known as a collective impact initiative, where it sort of functions like a public-private partnership, but instead of leveraging things that a public-private partnership might do, capital and businesses and things, it leverages the power of community and volunteerism to help develop the future of an area. And it's driven by coordination among community stakeholders to achieve sort of the shared goals that and this represents sort of a significant investment of volunteer time. And to date, and in collaboration with the City of Shreveport, this project is not just hopeful, it's already raised north of $5 million toward the effort, edging on $7 million. And we have a proposal, not we, the city actually has a proposal out to the state to fund the rest of that project that should be voted on this year. So it's not a hopeful, it's the result of 2 years of hard work and has already received funding toward that end. And through the process of sort of developing the Kings Highway plan, one thing has become pretty clear, and that is that there's a broad understanding that vacant and unutilized property cannot remain as they are. At the same time, there's a strong desire for reinvestment that aligns with walkability, neighborhood compatibility, and long-term uses that are adaptable. The community understands that things like sales and property taxes are important to the backbone of municipal finances, supporting public safety and quality of life amenities and things like that. But what's been expressed in these community meetings regarding this project has not been a rejection of development in general, but an understanding that strong fiscal values also have to be matched with strong neighborhood outcomes, and that they should be expected to rise together, right? And those priorities are reflected in the forthcoming One Shreveport Master Plan. In the future land use section of the new master plan, the Kings Highway area is identified what's called a neighborhood corridor with guidance that emphasizes, and I'm quoting here, buildings that should be sited with their primary entrances oriented to the street, parking located to the side or rear of the structure, and the shared surrounding uses is preferred with the parking. And that streets should be designed with high-quality facilities for pedestrians, cyclists, and transit riders. And as you prepare to implement the One Shreveport Master Plan this year and in the future, I believe it's important to underscore that the strength of planning is not just in having a planning document itself, but in the discipline of application of that document. And careful analysis by the MPC staff that has, in a consistent evaluation of proposals that are held in the spirit and intent of a master plan are essential to building public trust in that plan long-term. And that consistent application creates predictability, which of course is really great for businesses and for the community as a whole. With that said, and although the developer has taken steps to design the best darn gas station he can, it falls short of the master plan in aspirations in fundamental ways. First, it is set back considerably from the roadway, making access by non-vehicle users challenging, if not risky. It also means that majority of the parking is in front of the building, and both are incompatible with the master plan for this area. Some concerns also include that traffic may shift to neighborhood streets, challenges regarding litter and dumping, which have occurred at other nearby gas stations, late night activity, and environmental concerns. Another fear is that this increases the intensification of commercial activity back toward the neighborhood, and it may set a precedent for future requests. There are also concerns the developer may be committed, that the developer, though they may be committed to beautification efforts and amenities like a dog park, that future owners may not. And without strong covenants to protect those standards promised by the developer today, beyond their ownership, it's hard for people to accept that those promises will be durable long term. That said, the community, so far as I've heard, is not against development in general. There's strong interest in seeing the developer, including this one, succeed in bringing this property back to commerce, just not with this use that does not align with the master plan. Other ideas have included mixed-use retail, commercial space, some of the things that we actually see in the design, but oriented toward the street. Things like we see at Kings Highway near Centenary College, which align with the master plan's neighborhood corridor designation. And some of those uses are not far off of what the proposed development is, but again, the orientation unfortunately undermines that. I want to appreciate the professionalism and care that go into the MPC staff's assessment and agree with their recommendation for a denial. I also appreciate the adherence to the One Shreveport Master Plan, both in letter and in spirit. I also want to show appreciation for Mr. Omar and his partners for showing interest in Kings Highway, because I do believe, and I think many others do as well, that understand that it is a crucial economic area, and would love to invite them or anyone else who wants to develop in the area to come and sit with the community to design something that is servicing the community and meeting their financial goals as a business investor. With that, I look forward to hearing comments from my neighbors and your responses to them.
All right, board members, any questions for Mr. Lyons? Did I say that right?
Yes, Lyons.
Ms. Jackson?
Good afternoon or good evening, Mr. Lyons, right?
Yes.
Wonderful speech. I do applaud you. But my question is, I heard you say something about a retail. So what is it that you would like to see in that space, or as far as the community to see this in that space?
I can speak for myself. I think that mixed-use development is the future, not just for this area, but for Shreveport generally, including all neighborhood spaces and in the neighborhood corridor designation that's a part of the One Shreveport Master Plan. So this would be things like everyday businesses that people would walk into and out of on the street. Again, look at what's happening over by Centenary, whether it's a restaurant or a retail space or professional business, antique shop, ice cream shop, you name it, right? And again, some of those uses that are in this space are in alignment with that, a pizzeria or that sort of thing. The challenge arises when it's so far set back from the road that it does not become a pedestrian-oriented business, which again is a misalignment with the master plan.
I agree with you. I mean, honestly, I do agree with you to see those kind of things when it comes to pertaining to a neighborhood and a corner in the street. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, board members, any other questions? Anyone else questions for this gentleman? All right, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Anders.
At this particular time, if there's anyone else who care to speak in opposition, you have 3 minutes, and please step forward. Give us your name and address, please.
Yeah, good afternoon. Steve Brown, 546 Atkins Avenue, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71104. So I live currently 3 houses down. I live next to Dr. Frank Hughes here and Mary Hughes, and we've been neighbors for a long time. I am probably the longest on the street. I've been there for 30 years now. It's not uncommon to have to, fight things from other businesses. I live back up to the Family Dollar. So you'll probably hear a lot today about the negatives, and there's a long list of negatives from this, and I'm not for it simply. But I think it's the second and third order effects as well that we don't know are going to arise from this. And I say that because when the Family Dollar was zoned C2 right there on the street, they probably hadn't considered that you can't get big semi-trucks in there, and they have to come in and overnight, which is basically once a week I have a semi-truck that's idling in my backyard every single week. And there's a city ordinance against it, but it's hard to get the police to enforce it. and there's no communication with Family Dollar. They won't communicate with you about it. That's the kind of things that happen later down the road. They talked about the dumpsters being pulled forward, something like that. I deal with the trash from the Family Dollar. Sometimes they'll let it pile up. Those kind of things 5 years from now, that thing may be stuck back in the corner again. You know, we just cannot foresee those kind of things right now. But for 30 years, I've been fighting those things. We're a fragile community, a fragile neighborhood, and I say that because we're right on the front line of encroachment. We got homes that are over 100 years old. They are hard to sell. We finally got a young couple in, and now we have an unlicensed halfway house that's right next to them. So they left, and they still can't sell their house there. So these are the things that we deal with there. So what I would say is, you know, Dawn Seafood needed it to be C1 for the parking lot. That's my understanding of it. And Dawn Seafood was a great restaurant, and we loved it. But I would propose we go back to residential on that. Rather than going to C2, why don't we go back to residential and make the neighborhood whole again? And that way it's just a better environment for everyone. Also, my 46 seconds, one of my big issues are cut-through traffic. So we're right on Atkins, we're right between Cresswell and Highland, and we get a lot of cut-through traffic there. We have the students that walk the streets from Byrd, they go to their neighborhood homes and stuff. And if we do go to one lane or whatever, or even if we don't, we stay like it is, and we put this facility in, there's going to be more cut-through traffic. And those kind of things, you know, are just, you know, basically, I know the architect and Ali, they want to make money, but they're going to do it on our backs. And that's why I ask that you guys vote this down. That's all.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who'd care to speak in opposition?
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, my name is Ian Cairns. I live on 507 Atkins Avenue. My wife, Patricia, and I moved there in 2001, and our house will be 100 years old this year. And if you've ever owned a 100-year-old house, you have to love it or leave it, and we happen to love it. And we love the neighborhood, and we love everything about it. And when we first moved in there, the corridor that we're describing in the future was actually there in the past. We could walk to Dawn's, we could walk to George's, we could go to Joe's. There was a multitude of restaurants there, and it was a fantastic place to live in. We are dead set against the gas station. Nothing personal to the owner. We understand they want to open at 6 o'clock in the morning. They want to keep it open through midnight, 7 days a week, and it's 100 feet from our front door. They have a drive-through window that is going to have a speaker damper facing our house. But if you've ever had some people at a drive-through window, we used to own a restaurant at one point, the people are louder than the speaker themselves. So for those reasons, it shouldn't be in the neighborhood. I agree with what Steve just said, and you'll find that everyone in the 500 block of Atkins Avenue is here today. If you've never been to the 500 block of Atkins, I wish you would go take a drive through, because we really respect our neighborhood. We spend time and money in our houses, and we're proud of them, and we want it to stay like that. And I think if we change the variance or the zoning for this property, it's going to have a detrimental effect on not just our street, but the whole neighborhood. So thank you for your time, folks.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Andia Augustine Billy. I live at 521 Atkins Avenue, so about 100 feet, and these are my neighbors. Anyway, so I am here because I am concerned. I formally opposed this project because it will directly harm my family and our neighborhood. I've not lived there as long. It's been 7 years for me, but I love this neighborhood a lot. It matters to me. So as a parent, I'm a mother of two small boys, a 9-year-old and a 5-year-old. Gas stations and liquor stores, they attract late night traffic, noise, loitering, and disruptive behavior, all of which are not compatible with residential area. So this would negatively impact our community's peace and security. We will not talk about the increased traffic because my neighbor has already talked about that. I'm also concerned about the impaired driving when you have liquor, alcohol so close to home. The risks of accidents and unsafe driving, they go up, they jeopardize the safety of families in the area. Gas stations, they bring environmental concerns, the constant bright lights, the noise, they would disrupt the character of our neighborhood and harm the health and well-being of nearby residents. And also studies show that gas stations and liquor stores, they lower property values. As my neighbor said, I live right by that safe house. Literally, we share a border. And we were not consulted about this. So again, no. And this proposal also creates an overconcentration of similar businesses in a small area. It serves commercial interest, not the residents who would bear the negative consequences. So in conclusion, the zoning decisions should prioritize the safety, well-being, and long-term stability of our community. And I urge the board to deny approval for this project, or at the very least, require a significant redesign in consultation of the community that better fits the needs of this neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good afternoon. My name is Thomas Moran. I'm a visiting professor at Centenary College, and the neighborhood asked me to come and speak in opposition to the gas station from my perspective. My address is 6513 Indian Hills Boulevard, Shreveport. Over the past 15 months, as a part of my research at Centenary, I've been engaged in conducting a series of lectures that are open to residents, talking about urban design, urban planning, tactical urban planning, those kinds of activities to try to improve the neighborhoods. I love the neighborhoods here in Shreveport, and this has been kind of an outgrowth of my labor of love for the city. We have tried to teach and help people understand that it's one thing to be a consumer of your neighborhood, but it's also important to be a creator of that neighborhood as well. And as a result of the lecture series, we've been engaged. In fact, I've worked with Mr. Lyon on a number of projects as well in trying to help folks look at the needs in their neighborhoods, assess the assets in their neighborhoods, and try to create solutions that fit the needs that the neighborhood has defined. Neighborhoods need infill, neighborhoods need pedestrian traffic, bike traffic, and be more accessible. It has a lot of ancillary effects in terms of helping neighborhoods be safer, more active, and improves the value of the properties. Highland and the neighborhood around this property is no exception. We need to improve the pedestrian traffic on the sidewalks. We need to do things to improve and add businesses that the neighborhood needs. Were I a real estate developer like Mr. Ali, while a very thoughtful plan was developed, a terrific design was developed, I would have approached it differently. I would have approached the neighborhood first and asked them what they needed as a developer. I would have taken that input because in the end, Mr. Ali or any developer needs to have a profitable enterprise, and the enterprise has to also fit the specific needs of the neighborhood. And in this instance, my sense is that this development adds more of the same to the neighborhood and doesn't really truly address the needs of the neighborhood in terms of the infill, pedestrian activity, and other things that are important to it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Moran.
Yep.
My name is Charlotte Russell. I'm the president of the Highland Neighborhood Association. I normally try to speak last at these things, but I need to leave for a family emergency, so I'm going to run through this really quickly. One of the things that I would like to do, if I'm permitted to do that, is ask anyone who hasn't signed up to speak but is here in opposition to stand or raise their hand.
We'll cover that in just a few moments.
Okay.
That's part of our responsibility.
Good to know. All right. So as the president of a neighborhood association, I get these emails all the time, and I'm always really excited about like what's coming to our neighborhood. And I try really hard to be supportive and to look forward to doing business with these entities. And I always wait for the one that's going to come across my email box that is like, yes, we can all really get behind this. And alas, that is not this project. So in addition to all of the comments that you've heard about traffic concerns, master plan, incompatibility, litter, loitering, I was here a couple weeks ago talking to y'all about a Murphy USA like 4 blocks away. All of those same problems are still problems, and y'all voted that down, so I appreciate that. But my biggest question is, we have something really amazing going with Kings Highway between the medical school and the medical corridor improvements that they're making, and then the Kings Highway corridor on the east side, and this is kind of smack in the middle of that, and we have the opportunity to do something really, really amazing with this neighborhood corridor. And I don't know that a strip resource center is the first thing that we want to approve according to this master plan. So I would like for you to really consider that. And also, your staff recommended against approval. So they had really good points. So I hope that you'll agree with them on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sharp.
Oh, you need my
Yes,
address.
sir, Mr. Moss.
Yes. You need my address. It's 533 Jordan, Shreveport, 71101.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Just a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
What would you like
Yes,
to
sir.
see there?
I would really love to see something along the lines of the Strawn's, King's Antiques, YWCA Thrift Store, Hawker Smocks, that kind of shopping center on a much smaller scale. That's butted up to the road, has parking behind it, could have even like a shared kitchen that 3 or 4 different small spaces could share a kitchen, and it could be a business incubator or something like that.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
What I'd like to do, and I want, if you have a burning desire to come, you'll have that opportunity. But for those of you who are present and in opposition to this, if you'll stand, we'll get a head count. And then anybody else who has a burning desire to come to the microphone will have that opportunity, if perhaps you're not covering the same material that we've had the opportunity to hear already. Give us just a moment to do with a head count. Okay, we're still standing? Okay, okay. We're good? All right, thank you very much for standing up. Now, come on, sir.
For the record, that count was 23.
I'm sorry?
For the record, that count was 23.
Thank you. All right, sir.
Hey, good afternoon. Thank you all very much. My name is Graham Todd. My wife Pam and I live at 503 Atkins. We are the first lot right in front on the corner, and our house is 101 years old. I first want to point out that there's been a procedural due process violation with this application, and that is that under the code 15.2E, notice has to be posted on the property at least 15 days in advance, no greater than 30 days in advance. And no notice signs were ever posted on this property that there was going to be a meeting on this matter. That's required for any zoning amendments. So right off the bat, there's a procedural due process violation. So, we would have a basis right there. In addition, what I'd like to do is now, can I have this projected, please? This is from, This is from y'all's webpage, the public database. Right here where I'm pointing is the C1 current lot. And you'll notice as you look at that whole entire residential area of really South Highland, that inside all of those neighborhoods, there is one C1 lot, and that is the old Don's parking lot. You will notice that there are no C2 lots, of course. So this is already an anomaly. That's because it's a historical nonconformity that was brought in most likely years ago as the MPC, as the Unified Development Code was updated. So it's from a long time ago. I understand that. We've only lived there since 2014. But I wanted to point that out as well as you look at this, it's the only C1, and then it would be, if this was approved, it would be the only C2. Now, by definition, C1 is a neighborhood commercial zoning district. C2 is a commercial corridor. What that would do would turn Atkins into a commercial corridor. By definition, it would become a commercial corridor and no longer a residential street. You've heard from the developer spokesperson that they took an informed approach. He, of course, failed to note that there was nobody at the meeting that said they were in favor of it. Again, increase in traffic has been pointed out. When you take a look at the 8 factors that the MPC is required to look at under 16.2.e, it is certainly my opinion that of those 8, there is only one that actually supports or could be found to be positive, and that is whether adequate public facilities are available. Yep, there's a school, there's police, there's fire protection, there's a road right there, sanitary. That's the only one. Otherwise, it is not consistent with the plan. There are other purposes have been asked about. We could put a food truck park there or something like that. I like the idea of the business incubator. There's one of those by the old cemetery. That's really a great place. We've gone there to eat for vegans on the run and things like that. That's a great idea.
Mr. Todd?
Yes, sir.
Your
Sorry.
time is.
All right, thank you.
But thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Frank Hughes. My wife Mary and I moved to 530 Atkins Avenue 28 years ago. Our home is 104 years old right now. If we keep it up, it looks like a brand new house. We had a downstairs bedroom, and when I had to have my knee replaced because I couldn't go upstairs, we didn't have any downstairs bedrooms. We had 2 baths downstairs. We keep the house up. It's really nice. Don's Seafood was an active restaurant when we bought the house. It was a welcome neighborhood. We loved it. We went there all the time. Many people went there for special occasions. It was a great place. We were so sorry that it closed. Don's closed years ago, and after it burned down, we bought the house at 524 Atkins, right next to Don's parking lot, which is right on the other side of the brick wall. We've added to the brick wall. We have a nice wall you can see through now at the very top. We added that ourselves. After we worked on the house about 5 years because it needed some updating, it was an old house, we completely remodeled it, top to bottom, at great expense. We moved into our new 94-year-old house recently. We've been there for a few weeks. We love it. We like where we live. This is a quiet neighborhood. At night, I can walk out of my house on the east side and look up and see the stars. I can see constellations. There's not a lot of light out there. There's no light pollution. It's beautiful. Today, there are currently 4 gas stations within a mile of this project. Circle K on Kings Highway, 1/10 of a mile away. Exxon on Kings Highway at 3/10 of a mile. Chevron on Fern, 0.8 miles. Circle K on Line, 1.1 miles. We don't need another gas station. Plenty of gas stations around. There used to be a gas station right across the street from this project. It might have been a Chevron. It closed. It's now a Nails and Spa. That shows you that a new gas station, even then, was not a good idea. Didn't last very long. A gas station selling beer and wine is really not needed right now, right next to our house. It would be right next door. We're the first house on the other side of the wall, so we're going to get all the noise, the light, the pollution. We don't need it. Beer and wine is available at Brookshire's across the street, Circle K, and a liquor store right a block away. Why do we need another place to buy beer or wine? We don't need it. Who needs it? We don't. This is our neighborhood, and these are our homes. We live here. We love it. We don't really need this project here. We don't. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
My name is John Atkins. My address is 235 Kings Highway, Shreveport, Louisiana. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a representative of approximately 4 companies that collectively hold the second largest amount of land in the area after Centenary College. We control approximately 2 blocks of Kings Highway between Centenary Boulevard and Gilbert. And of that area, about a half acre of it I bought next to the liquor store there, or my partner, Ashley David, and I bought in order to control it, to keep things like this at bay. We pay a monthly note on that property and get no return in order to maintain it for us and for our neighborhood. And maybe, hopefully, one day we can do this with the Don's land. Who knows? I speak today not as an opponent of business, but a steward of our community's future. I have appeared before the MPC. I have not appeared before the MPC since the last time we looked at this very issue, when y'all turned down converting that back lot from C1 to C2 in the past. And I'm happy to say that I hadn't been in here. Thank you. At that time, you wisely rejected that, and I'm urging y'all to do so at this time again. Most of these points have been raised by the other people that have spoke, but this neighborhood is precarious. It's precious. It's the demarcation line between Highland and the rest of that part of the city. And as you well know, there's been arson, there's been dilapidation, there's been homelessness on the north side, and that in a normal town, if you put a gas station in such as this, would not be a problem, possibly. But with the amount of homelessness and mental illness and drug addiction that is north of Kings, it's going to serve as a beacon of people coming across the street. And I've witnessed that because I work on Kings Highway every day. The Circle K is a den of iniquity. It's not what we want in the area. And I'm not saying that this gas station would be that, but it lends itself to the possibility. So I urge y'all to vote against this gas station. Y'all voted against the gas station down at 49 in Kings, and this is a slam dunk in comparison to that argument. I realize, and I only got 27 seconds left, that somebody wants something here. Someone doesn't want a vacant lot. Someone doesn't want a hole in the ground where the bottom of the building used to be. But changing that is a 5-year fix. What I'm asking for is a plan, hopefully by me or somebody else, for a 50-year plan, something that maintains the neighborhood and its stability. Please vote against this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon. I'm Lisa McDonald, 206 Gladstone Boulevard, and I'm the president of the Gladstone Area Partnership. And we are a homeowners association that is just south of Kings Highway near Centenary Boulevard. I represent about 90 families from that neighborhood. Most of the points that I plan to make to you today have already been stated, I'm sure, much better than I could have by previous speakers, but I did want to let you know that our board has voted and is against this proposition in its present form. We stand with our neighbors on Atkins and in the South Highland area that while we do support a business at this area and would very much like to see new development coming in, this is not the type of business that we're looking for. We would very much like to speak with the developers if they're willing to come up with something that's commercially viable for them, but a benefit also for our community. So we do ask respectfully that the council would vote no on this proposition and the zoning change. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McDonald. Is there anyone else who care to speak in opposition? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, everyone. My name is Madison Poche. I live at 262 Wilkinson, which is about 3 blocks north of Kings Highway. I have been a part of the Kings Corridor team that's been meeting on nights and weekends for 2 years to try to build a better vision for Kings Highway. And I'm really proud of the success that we've made. I really just wanted to highlight one thing that I think was touched on, but just to be clear, along what I count as 3 blocks, this would be the 3rd gas station. Again, as someone said, next to this site, there is another gas station that has closed down. And so I think the problem here is not, I like the convenience store, part of the plan if it was up at the street. But once you put in a gas station, if that doesn't work, or if one of the gas stations puts another gas station out of business, it creates a huge burden for the next person coming in to use that space in another way. Once you have gas tanks underground, once you have pumps, once you have a huge awning, once this gets turned into a gas station, it's really challenging for it to ever be something else in the way that if we just had the convenience store with spaces for small businesses and maybe a much needed commercial kitchen space, that could change hands and still be really viable for the neighborhood for generations to come. And so I think they've done a beautiful job making this a nice gas station, but just doesn't quite make financial sense. And I'm looking towards the long term to see, if the 3rd gas station on 3 blocks has any challenges moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Poche. Is there anyone else? Yes, sir.
My name is John Paul Young. I live at 424 College Street. I represent this area on the Caddo Parish Commission. I just wanted to come and reiterate some of the points that were made, particularly what John Atkins said about this neighborhood. I live in Highland, which is a high crime neighborhood with a large amount of blight, very significant drug use problems. They concentrate around a gas station that exists right now. It's very likely that similar nuisances will develop around other gas stations, and allowing those to penetrate onto the other side of Kings Highway into a neighborhood which is currently in very excellent condition creates economic perils for that neighborhood. Any disincentive to maintaining the houses at the high level at which they're currently maintained will likely cause them to devolve to owners who will not take care of them, increase the blight, and allow it to spread to other parts of the city. That's the opposite of what we're trying to accomplish in Highland, and I hope that we can protect this neighborhood from those negative effects. I understand that the owners are responsible people who want to keep the property clean, but there's no prohibition against them conveying it to someone else in the future who wouldn't do this, who wouldn't do such a good job. And if that should happen, the people of Atkins Street are very likely to experience the crisis of non-enforcement of the nuisance codes that we have been struggling with in Highland, which have devalued the property there and led to innumerable fires and demolition. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Collier. Is there anyone else who care to speak in opposition to this application? Is there anyone else who care to speak in opposition? All right, hearing none, either Mr. Ali or Mr. Spikes has the opportunity to come back and do a rebuttal at this time.
Thanks, everyone. I just wanted to give the opportunity if there's any more questions before y'all vote from our side.
Any more questions for board members for Mr. Spikes? All right, Mr. Morris.
I'm sitting here and listening to all the folks from the Highland community, and I applaud y'all for coming out to represent a developer. In a perfect world, I know that when you're coming into a city, things like this happens. But did you do a survey? Did you did you get with the community to find out what they exactly wanted there in that area? Did that take place?
Yeah, we actually invited some of the folks at Reform Shreveport and the Highland Neighborhood Association to our office, and we did work in a few of the things that you saw in the presentation that I gave today were added between that meeting and the neighborhood participation meeting. And then, after neighborhood participation meeting, we get it that there are things that are not, that the neighbor is not in agreement with. But for us, we feel like we've tried to do the best we can with this project type at this location to respond to the needs of the neighborhood. And we feel like we're doing the best we can to make this fit the site that we're given to work with. So.
And let me just say this, and I know the neighborhood participation plan, I'm saying going beyond that. A project this big needs to get community approval, to put something that big together. So I'm just saying moving forward, and to the Highland community, come together and think about what you want to put there, because you're going to be in this position again. We are open for business here in Shreveport, and it's just sometimes it's not the right business for the different areas. So I just wanted to voice that. Thank you.
Ms. Jackson?
My question I've asked before, are you willing to meet with them again to see what they are asking about, just to hear their voices about what their opinions on what they would like to see there? Because from what I'm hearing is that they want something there, they just don't want the gas stations. And that was most of the complaints about the gas station, because yes, there are about 4 or 5 different gas stations in that area. One in the same block you're trying to do, one 2 blocks over, next block over. But is there any consideration of meeting with them again? And if they are willing to meet with you to see what they would like to put there in, excluding the gas station?
I mean, the hard part about, I can't promise excluding the gas station. I think we're willing to meet and come up with ways to make the gas station more palatable for that development. I think the issue is the business that Omar is in, that's his business, is a multi-use, I think somebody said mixed use, which is what we feel like this is. We need the gas pumps to make it work to bring enough traffic to the site to pay the mortgage.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, but you still have all these competition from all these other gas stations around you.
Understand.
So who's to say that they're going to come to your particular gas station? But because that area, I'm not too far from there myself,
Right.
but that particular area needs things like places to eat, places to shop, those different areas, those kind of entities is what I'm thinking about. But I was just asking.
And to your point, we feel like this is what we have in this project. We do have eateries planned. We do have a tenant space planned if a boutique wanted to go in. It just happens to also have gas pumps with it. It's not. I heard Murphy mentioned. It's not Murphy. It's not Exxon. Exxon is a 4-bay repair shop with 4 pumps. That's a different animal. And I feel like you've got a local partner that is willing to. We've already try to design this thing to fit within a neighborhood before we even met with anybody, and then we tried to go further with that. It's a push and pull, and at the end of the day, it really has got to make sense for them to spend the money to do this, or then you're going to have what everybody's talking about. If we don't do the things to make it successful, you're going to have another vacant lot with something you don't want, and we get that. And that's what we obviously we want it to succeed as well, or they wouldn't have already spent the money they have to buy the land and paid me to have me here to try to design something that everybody can be proud of.
Okay.
So that's.
All right, before Mr. Spikes leave, any questions from anyone else? All right, sir, thank you very much.
Thank you all.
All right, board members, it is time for deliberation. We'll entertain a motion.
Move to deny.
Motion by Mr. Moss to deny.
Second.
Second by Ms. Jackson. All those in favor of the motion, vote yes. All those in opposition, vote no. Yes, sir, Mr. Valdez. Pull your mic down.
The recommendation from the staff?
Yes.
The staff recommended denial, right?
Yes.
All right. Everyone voted? Someone hadn't pushed their button yet. There we go. All right. The motion passes to deny the request. Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your presence this afternoon. We would invite you to sit through the rest of our meeting, but if you feel the urge to have to leave, if you'll do that so that we can attend to the other cases that we have left, which totals out to about 5. Yes, sir. Thank you. If you ladies and gentlemen would give us the meeting room, please. All right, we'll move it. Yes, ma'am. Turn your mic on.
All righty, so we voted, but I just want to make this comment because I think this is a very good case for what I'm going to say. We're put in this position to vote because we're supposed to improve the economic development for the city of Shreveport, right? And then we get individuals, and I've heard this for months since I've been on here for 4 years, of the importance of approving businesses to come into Shreveport, right? I'm learning, I'm listening, going through the process, right? What bothers me about these particular instances is we have a privileged neighborhood to come in and oppose to a gas station. Their neighborhood is flooded with gas stations, right? It is. Look it on the map. It is. There's truth in that. But if there had been a different population of people sitting out there protesting this same case, it wouldn't have gone like this at all. And I'm going to say it, and I want it on the record because I believe there should be equitable opportunities. Everybody's neighborhood is important to them. And just because you are more privileged than others does not give you access. Now, I voted the way I had to because I feel like sometimes you're almost forced to do that, but I think it needs to be placed on the record. If we really want to move Shreveport, then we need to pay closer attention to how we treat our citizens. That's black, white, blue, purple, green, yellow, male, female, transgender, whatever it is. Everybody should have that same treatment and effect. And nobody should feel someone watching. I guarantee you, if this neighborhood, if it was the Cooper Road, I'm going to use my own neighborhood. If it was the Cooper Road residents sitting out there contesting to an additional gas station being placed in their neighborhood, it wouldn't have been any deliberation. It was going to get put there, and that was it. Overflooded, liquor stores, the whole process. I think the city of Shreveport should give their residents and their citizens just a little bit more consideration of what we're bringing in, what type of businesses we're bringing in, and where we're putting them. That's how I feel about that.
All right, thank you very much. This particular time, we go to item number 10, case number 25-143-C, zoning request, Walker, Alley and Associates, A&L Energy Incorporated.
Good evening. My name is Mitch Busada, 424 Southfield Road, Shreveport, 71106. I'm here on behalf of the owners, of which I am a minority owner. It's family property. But I'm here asking to have the remaining part of our tract to be rezoned from residential to industrial. As you'll see on the map, this property is surrounded on two sides by the rest of our property, which is I-1. We are right now. It's wooded area. It's been vacant for decades, and so what our plan, what we'd like to do is to clear that land and We have overnight truck parking, as you'll see there. That's up on the corner of Greenwood Road and Greenwood Lane. When we hosted the neighborhood participation meeting, we didn't have anyone show up, but we had photos to show the kind of the before and after of what we did as far as privacy fence, landscaping with sprinklers, and the property's well lit. We even did a privacy fence on the front gate facing Greenwood Road, not the Greenwood Lane side, which has caused some problems just putting wood planks on a rolling gate, but we did it because that's what was asked of us to do. So anyways, we feel like we've improved this corner, and what we'd like to do is to extend that back and to have more of the truck parking. This would not be not like overnight idling, sleeping in the cab type parking. Right now, what's there is, they're dropping trailers so that they can go home, for the weekend, and then pick up the trailers and hit the road during the weeks, that type of thing. So it's really not heavy traffic. It's a lot of times the trucks are just kind of sitting there. We over the years since we've done this, we've not been made aware of any complaints from anyone in the neighborhood, whether it's other commercial neighbors or residential neighbors. We feel like we've set a good example, a good precedent of what we'll do there. And so we're asking to have the remaining property rezoned.
Any questions for Mr. Posada? I do have a comment, but I'll reserve it until we check out the room. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Mr. Roberts?
Thank you, Mr. Posada. Speak to me about how you insulate the residents across the street from this parking lot.
So, right now, I think there was one photo that shows, with landscaping and the privacy fence, and that's what we've, had done on the property on the front end.
So landscaping and a fence? This is not really trucks, it's just trailers, isn't that correct?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
They're dropping the trailers there, and, so like right now, this lot as it sits now, the front half is, just regular vehicles. They, might drive in, drop their vehicle there, or leave it overnight to take the truck out, and, so it's not, like at a travel center gas station off the interstate where you have a lot of trucks where their, lights are on and they're, sleeping or whatever, taking a break. It's more of a drop yard, I would say, than truck parking would be a better way to describe it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else? All right, sir. Thank you. Oh, so the other gentleman chooses not to say anything? All right. Is there anyone else present who care to speak in favor of this request? Anyone else care to speak in favor? Anyone present who care to speak in opposition to this request? Any opposition to this request? All right, board members, what's your pleasure?
Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Robertson?
Motion approved.
Motion to approve by Mr. Robinson, second by Mr. Sater. All those in favor, please vote yes. Oppositions, vote no. All right, Ms. Jackson is absent. So this is gonna be the count that we go up with today. Very good. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that motion passes. Mr. Posada, my comment to you is I live in that area going out Jefferson Page Road quite frequently. And if perchance the other truck parking areas would follow your lead at the entrance, the way yours is designed, it would really help the looks of Greenwood Road, because you've done an excellent job of maintaining the way that looks as we pass that way. Thank you very much. At this particular time, item number 11 on the agenda, case number 25-144-C, Walker and Alley and Associates, PD and MM LLC. All right.
Hello again. Do I need to?
Yes,
just
please.
whatever. Mitch Busada, 424 Southfield Road, Shreveport, 71106, representing the owners, of which I'm not one on this one. I have had this property listed for sale for the owners 7 years pre-COVID for sure, so 7 or 8 years now. Haven't had a lot of traction, and actually this property has sat vacant pretty much the entire property. It's grown over the years and been replatted, but the frontage of it has been vacant for decades. In fact, if you're looking here, the property to the west, immediately to the west, that shows C3. I represented the sellers on that property. Ms. Jacqueline Scott purchased that and just had it rezoned C3. At the closing, the two men that had inherited the property, they had said when they were growing up there, going to their grandparents' house, they used to go play in there because that was the field. That's where they played. So it's been out of commerce for decades. We haven't had a lot of attention, a lot of interested buyers. The few that we have had have been scared away by it being residential. I've tried to convince them that, there's a process, we can go through it. I've shown them the map of, how this corridor from the interstate to Line Avenue has pretty much completely gone commercial. There are two people that still live on Piermont Road, one of which, in fact, it's right here. I'm representing her. She would like to sell her property as well. So that's one of the last two remaining residential properties. So I've explained this to potential buyers. They just, especially out-of-town buyers, it doesn't mean a whole lot to them. All they see is that it's residential. They don't want to go through the process because of how long it takes, because of just having to be here if they're out-of-town buyers, having to come in for the neighborhood meeting and these meetings. So, and just the uncertainty. So, after speaking with the owners, I typically, in representing properties, I typically tell them, don't get it rezoned, wait for a buyer, let the buyer do the rezoning. But because we did just within the last 12 months, we did lose a buyer, a very good buyer in my opinion, specifically for this reason. They couldn't afford to come in town over and over to get it rezoned, and I even offered to do it on their behalf. It still was just too much trouble for them, too much uncertainty. They wanted something that was already zoned, and it was a restaurant. Anyways, spoke with the owners. We decided to, once Ms. Scott got her property rezoned, we thought, well, let's go ahead and just do this in hopes that it'll help get this property back in commerce. It's been sitting vacant. The owners tired of having to mow the lawn and keep the trash off of it, and trash will pile up from who knows where. But he's ready to move the property, ready to put it back in commerce, and so this is the path that we're choosing. We're hoping that y'all will consider approving this, so that we can continue to develop that corridor.
Any questions for Mr. Busada, please? Mr. Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. Posada. What would you like to see on this property?
Well, as the agent, I would like to see anybody that would pay for it. But in all seriousness, I mean, in my opinion, just by looking at it, I think a restaurant would make the most sense. You've got, in the way that I market it, and this is a big part of it, is like if it's rezoned, it makes it easier for me to market it to a buyer. But you've got the largest office park in Shreveport outside of downtown right across the street. So you've got a captive lunch audience and even dinner when you're getting off work. That stretch of Line Avenue just right around the corner is I like to think that it's known for, great local restaurants. And so being just right around the corner, I think it would be a great fit. So that would be my preference, but I'm just the agent.
I asked our staff earlier today, what would be the implications of this decision that you're asking for the residential or property across the street on the north side of Piermont? And and I understand that one of the properties, which is apparently residential in zoning now, and in character, and in use, has a for sale sign on it saying this is commercial property.
It's being marketed as commercial, right? And I have that listing on that. And I mean, because that was a conversation we had. I mean, she sees that it's going commercial. She's older. She doesn't, want to have to deal with the traffic and all that kind of stuff anymore. So she realized that she reached out to me about selling her property. I didn't solicit that, but yeah. So I mean, she's aware of the changes to this corridor.
So you're the agent for her
I am
as
the
well?
agent for that one as well.
Okay. Yeah, these corridor issues are difficult for us, as you heard earlier
Right.
with Kings Highway. And the commission, earlier in '25 turned down the project at I-49 in Kings Highway as well. That's one highway butted up against another highway, and
Right.
it wanted to go commercial, and we turned it down. So these strips of highway going through the city that used to be residential, like Uri Drive, where I live, are just difficult because they're a transitional kind of environment.
Mhm.
So one of the things the staff had discussed with us earlier was perhaps a lower commercial class of zoning, like C1 or C2. What's your comment on that?
I mean, anything would be better than residential. My concern with a lower level is just a buyer. They're going to have to go through more or less the same process, depending on what their use is, and that's what we were trying to avoid, is having to, especially like an out of town buyer or even a local buyer that's just, it takes a lot of time to kind of go through this process, rightfully so. But I'm just, we're just trying to get ahead of it. So that would be my concern. I mean, yeah, that would be my concern, is that we're making progress, but there's still going to be some hoops for another buyer to jump through that might scare them off.
Thank you.
All right. Any other board members with questions? All right, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else present who'd care to speak in favor of this request? Anyone else present who'd care to speak in favor? Anyone present who'd care to speak in opposition to this request? Please come forward.
Good afternoon. My name is Leroy Havard Scott III. I live at 1049 Southfield Road, Shreveport, 71106. I also own the residence located at 1017 Southfield Road, 1045 Southfield Road, 1047 Southfield Road, and my house at 1049. I also have 85281 Lexington. The zone of 500 feet, almost all of my property is within it. Southfield School and I pretty much occupy Southfield Road to ourselves. The school has the north side of the street. I have the south side of the street. Although the school does own 3 houses on the south side of the street, I have 14 lots that are all put together to encompass my backyard. On your map, I am from here to here and here and here. My father bought his first house on Southfield Road in 1954. I was a year old. I grew up on Southfield Road. I went to Southfield, I went to Jesuit, I went to Centenary, I went to LSU Law School. Other than the 20 years that I spent as a partner in the oldest law firm in Louisiana, in New Orleans, I have been in Shreveport. And when I came back to Shreveport to take care of my parents, I moved onto Southfield Road, where my mother lived. this property that they want to rezone is a big problem. And it's a big problem because of what Council Member Robertson has talked about, the east-west roads in our city. You've got Kings Highway, you've got Piermont Road, and you've got 70th Street. And right now, the one that's still the most pristine, protected from excessive development is Piermont Road. There's an unbelievable number of people that live between I-49 and Bayou Pierre or Fern Street that use the Piermont exit from the interstate to get home. The traffic on Piermont is already bad. I have participated in a number of other zoning issues on Piermont Road. I've done it pro bono for my neighbors. I was involved with the Circle K. I was involved with the Rocket Fast car wash. I was involved with the Taco Bell that they wanted to put where Jeb Breitup's office went. We worked out compromises on everything. This property is the northern edge of Cedar Grove, which is a very historical area in Shreveport, but troubled. It needs help. I'm on the board of Shreveport Regional Arts Council, and we're trying to help with 70th Street now in Cedar Grove. I wasn't going to appear today and oppose this zoning request until I was told yesterday that the real estate company that has it listed has a buyer in the wings for a fast food restaurant. Restaurant, okay. Fast food, I guess Taco Bell is going to come back and haunt me again. We beat Taco Bell when they wanted to put it at Southern and Piermont, and Jeb Breitup put his office there instead. By the way, Jacqueline Scott's law office, which is the old Passaic Printing Company, she did get a zoning change recently on the lot next to this lot. And I talked to Jackie. She's a friend of mine. I think she's sitting in the room behind me. She said she was going to use it for parking. Now, parking eliminates traffic congestion. It doesn't add to it. Fast food restaurants add to it. I hate to see Piermont fall further in the commercial area. It may be inevitable. My property will never be commercial. And I know it won't be because it's across the street from a school. I have probably 50 100-year-old oak and pine trees that are slowly dying off. I lose 1 or 2 a year. This property that they're seeking to rezone had 15 pine and oak trees on it when I moved back to Shreveport in 2003. I'm sorry, 2003. And in the middle of the night, one weekend, they came in and they clear-cut the whole block. I called Mr. Jean when it happened, and how can this happen? Unfortunately, Shreveport doesn't have a tree ordinance to stop people from clear-cutting trees. Southfield School has a traffic pattern that affects me more than anybody since I'm really the only neighbor, where the street turns one way for the school entrance and exit every day. Those parents come out of the school right in front of my house, and they go to Southern, they turn left on Southern, they go to Piermont, they turn left on Piermont. You've got already a congested street with Piermont, but we've tried to keep Piermont with a notch lower on the commercial development. For instance, when the Circle K wanted to build a new store at Line and Piermont, I led the opposition pro bono for the neighbors in the 700 block of Piermont to oppose it. We won the opposition, and then it went to the Shreveport City Council, and Oliver Jenkins and I sat down with both sides, and we worked out a compromise. The compromise being that there would be no entrance or windows on Piermont, that the store would be 3,000 square feet instead of 6. There'd be fewer gas pumps, and they lowered the canopies on the gas pumps, so it wasn't quite as obnoxious as the one at Uri in Southfield. Look, y'all have a tough job in front of you. You've got to balance the interests of commerce with no commerce, residents versus business. And that's a tough choice. And you're all should be congratulated for taking your time to serve the city on this regard. I know, Mr. Andrews, you've been here since as long as I've had my first trip before the MPC, which I think was in 2004. You've been here.
Too low.
Ms. Tebow, is it Tebow? I think you're right about if the property, the Highland Road property, if it was in Cooper Road, it'd be an easy choice. This is the northern edge of Cedar Grove. Cedar Grove needs attention. It needs help. Loading up more commercial development on Piermont Road is not the solution, and I'm, like Mr. Robertson, I'm a little bit surprised that a real estate broker would market a residence as commercial property, but that's what they have. That property adjoins mine. Anyway, this is speculative zoning is what it is. I don't think it's the right way to go, but here we are. The property has been vacant for a long time, and I don't have an easy answer to it, but I'm sure one can be found somewhere. I don't think changing it to C3 is the answer. I don't have anything further to say.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who care to speak in opposition to this request? Any opposition to this? This is where we are, correct? Yes. Anyone else speak in opposition to this request? All right. Hearing none, it's an opportunity now for rebuttal. The applicant may come back now for rebuttal.
Yeah, just a few things. First, just for the record, we don't have a buyer. We don't have a letter of intent. We don't have. I don't even have a strong lead right now. So just to be clear, there is no buyer. If there was a buyer, as I said before, I would just say, let the buyer go get the rezoning. So it certainly would make my life easier. And to address the comment about the house across the street being sold as commercial, I'm marketing it as commercial. But if somebody wants to buy it to live there, she would sell it to somebody to live there. Nobody's buying that. I haven't had any calls about somebody reaching out to buy it as residential because of the way that corridor has changed. And as far as, wanting to keep that corridor from going overly commercial or developing into something bad, all I can say to that is, I've lived here my whole life. I'm not planning on going anywhere. I've got young kids. I'm certainly not looking to do anything to make a quick buck that's going to reflect negative on me, my reputation, but also in making money in the future. So and the owners are local, and I feel pretty comfortable saying they're in the same boat. I do live fairly close, and I'm in South Highlands on Southfield, so I'd like to see it develop into something that would be great for everyone around there. Obviously, I don't have control over that as the agent. I'm just trying to bring in all interested buyers, but just want to go on the record with that. Yeah, that's it. Again, our main goal is just trying to bring this back into commerce. So any follow-up questions for me?
Yes, sir. Before you leave, Mr. Elberson.
Thanks, Mr. Busada. I appreciate you being proactive on the rezoning. A lot of realtors don't take the time and effort to do that, and I think it's smart. However, I'm just curious, would you be amenable to a C2 zoning?
I would think so.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Ms. Scott, I know you got a burning desire to say something, but your time has passed, but I'm going to invite you to go over and whisper to Mr. Clark, Mr. Stephen Jeans, what you got on your mind, if you don't mind. That's quite all right. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I know. Okay. All right, board members, any other questions for Mr. Busada? All right, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're at a point now where board members, you have an opportunity to make a motion.
I'll make a motion to change the zoning to a C2.
In other words, you make a motion to
Second.
approve with a stipulation that the zoning be changed to C2. Is that what I hear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, second by Mr. Moss. All those in favor, please vote yes. Oppositions vote no. All right, motion passes. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
my screen indicated that was Harold Sater who made that motion. No. It was made by Mr. Elberson and seconded by Mr. Moss. I just want to correct the record. I saw it on the screen.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Mildred, I'm sure you got that squared away. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll move to the next item on the agenda. Item number 12, I believe I'm saying that right. Paramount Development, Mills and Company of Louisiana, LLC.
Good afternoon. My name is Justin Weathers, 2822 Durbin Drive, Houston, Texas.
And that last name again, sir?
Weathers,
Thank you.
Weathers, 77043.
All right. Care to share with us what you?
Yes, sir. We're seeking to modify our previously approved conditional zoning district to add retail sales of alcohol, beer and wine, and outdoor dining. So I just want to take a minute to point out a couple of things. There's beer and wine is already sold all around us throughout the neighborhood and on Pines Road. Just about a quarter of a mile up the street, there's a little convenience store on the left called Rocket Food Store that offers beer and wine, and then you can go a little further to the Brookshires and purchase beer and wine up there. And then I think the gas station directly across the street recently got approval to sell beer and wine. And then as you go south, of course, you can buy it at the Walmart, the Circle K, and then on the east side of Pines Road, there's a liquor store and drive-through, all that. So, it really puts us at a significant disadvantage to have all the other stores around us to be able to offer it and us to not. So we would appreciate it if you guys would vote with the staff on that and approve us for the beer and wine. Next, I just want to point out the fact that all the MPP meetings that we had significant support, overwhelming support. In fact, we've had 4 over the last year. And just to speak on the last 2 meetings, 3 and 4, there were probably 25 people. I don't have the sign-in sheet with me. Forgive me for that. But there were probably 25 people at that meeting, and at the last one, there were probably 15 people. So 100% of the attendees were in support of what we've already got approved, the convenience store, and adding the beer and wine sales with outdoor dining. So, we've had overwhelming support. We've had a lot of excitement within the community. Everybody agrees that this is going to be an outstanding project to revitalize this corner. So, hope you guys can take that into consideration. Do y'all have any questions for me?
Any questions for Mr. Weathers? All right, just so we get your numbers straight here now, on the petition, there's 17 persons signed that. And there was 13 persons that attended the NPP meeting.
13 that attended the NPP meeting?
Yeah, I've got the signature.
I got you.
page. Okay. Any more questions for Mr. Weathers? All right, so thank you very much.
So,
Yes.
can I point something out real fast?
Yes.
So, there was an oversight on our part that the reason we're here today is because we had to reapply for the beer and wine. We originally thought it was included in the convenience store retail sales and the sale of motor fuels. So, at every neighborhood participation meeting, we were discussing the sale of beer and wine because we were under the impression that it was included. So, although there was 14 people at the last meeting, it was discussed every time. And so the community, I mean, again, we have had overwhelming support, and I think there's probably a few people here to speak in favor of it today. So just wanted to point that out. Thank you.
There was a question about truck parking. Was that something you wanted to say something about?
Well, we addressed that and we removed that truck parking. I know that was a major concern at the very first neighborhood participation meeting that we had. And of course, we addressed that, removed it, and haven't heard anything about it since. So,
okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
As you can see, the new site plan does not have truck parking.
Okay.
So, no more questions?
Anyone else present to, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else present who care to speak in favor of this request? Anyone else present who care to speak in favor of this request?
Gentlemen, how y'all doing? Ladies and gentlemen?
Fine, sir.
I'm George Mills. My business address is 904 Piermont, Suite 410. I am one of the owners of Mills & Co., and we have been here over and over again. And when the application was filed, I'm not aware of anything about beer and wine restrictions. And we came to the MPC meeting, and there was no discussion about beer and wine restrictions. And when the zoning came out, which said no beer and wine, shocked. How did it get in there? Was that standard procedure? Or was there a slip of the pen somewhere? But it's not something we talked about. So we're back again, and we're trying to get this project moving forward for that part of town. Be a great project. And the little gas station across the street sells beer and wine. I mean, just on the other side of Pines Road. So it wouldn't make any sense for us not to be able to sell beer and wine. Any questions? Okay, thank you. Where's you?
Good to see you. We both lost a little hair, haven't we? All right, thank you for allowing me to say that. All right,
Mr.
gentlemen.
Andrews?
Yes, sir.
Just to answer his question,
Yeah.
beer and wine is never a use by right. Am I correct on that? So it always has to be a special use permit, no matter what the zoning is. So
No, that's not correct.
okay. Well, then clarify that.
Only until recently was it always required to have special use. Prior to that, most districts allowed it by right. IC was an exception. And when this was reviewed initially, that was not caught, that it was not allowed in IC. We understand why it may have been omitted, because oftentimes it's for institutional campuses like colleges and things of that nature, but it was not picked up when that case was reviewed.
Thanks for that clarification.
It was
Yes, sir.
it was an oversight.
Go ahead.
It was an oversight.
Yes.
Yes, I would say you could characterize it as that, yes.
Is there anyone else present who care to speak in favor of this request? Anyone else present who care to speak in favor?
Good afternoon. My name is Gerald Schaus, 5900 Greenwood Road, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71119. We've had a business out there for going on 57 years now. My dad used to come out here to the Metropolitan Planning Commission when we were building. We've watched Shreveport grow out that way, especially on the south side of the interstate. Now on the left side, it's been dormant for so long. Of course, we had that corner tied up for many years, I guess under legal litigation or whatever, after Pines was separated with that road. And it seemed like with all the land, the neighborhoods like La Tierra, Western Hills, etc., are on north of this project. And the beer and wine sales, when you got a store right there in the corner of La Tierra that sells right going in there, it doesn't really make sense about why they wouldn't have a beer and wine license for this new service station. And in our business, we have a lot of drivers that drive in from West Texas, or not just Texas, to bring us parts and stuff for our vehicles. And they have good sized vans and stuff like that. And they've often mentioned that it would be nice to have a place to fuel up, get ready to head back, and stop, take a little break. And we said, well, that may be coming. And I'm just all, for this new development to come in, plus many more out west Shreveport. I remember that old slogan, Shreveport City on the Grow. I'd like to see things grow on that side in west. From what I hear, there's a lot of other things that are coming that way, and it excites me because I've grown up there since I was 5 years old, but worked for my father since I was 15. And I'd love to see it spurge up and grow beautiful. Thank y'all. Would you like to ask any questions?
Thank you for taking care of my wife's wrecked vehicle. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else care to speak in favor of this request?
I'm Randy Schaus from 5900 Greenwood Road. My input, mainly what's very exciting for me about this entire project is the 24-hour concept. My brother was speaking about the freight that comes to us on a daily basis, most of which comes from Texas and down south Louisiana, bringing parts before we get there to work, and for them to have opportunity to have a place to stop. I think that'd be really beneficial. Plus, I told you on the last meeting, I work so late, most places are closed. Time I get ready to go to the house, and so the idea that you have to stop at one place to fuel up or get a snack, then have to make another stop if that were your forte to buy wine or beer, whatever. I just think that it should be readily available all at the same spot, I would think. Plus the 24-hour concept to me is one of the high points. So everybody else is generally closed, and I think it'd just be a great addition to our area.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Any questions for Mr. Schaus? Thank you very much, sir. Anyone else care to speak in favor? Yes, sir.
My name's Denny Reedy. I live at 6477 Quinn Church Road. And I've been out there for 37, I just had my 37th anniversary. And we, married in '89, and we love West Shreveport. I was on the staff of our church for many, many years. My 4 children that are all grown now, thank God, have all graduated from the high school that we had out there. And since I've lived out there for so long, I've always been concerned that we didn't have more development on the west side. So this project is really exciting to me and my neighbors, because we've been to all those neighborhood meetings. And I'll be honest with you, until I heard the word oversight today, me and my neighbors are wondering what had happened, because we thought from the very beginning they had applied for the beer and wine, because it's a C-store, so it would make sense. But anyway, on the other side, I just want to simply say, I want to see development on Shreveport, in West Shreveport. I think development, big guest development. Those 3 nice restaurants we've got there has been wonderful. I'd love to see it develop all the way down Pines Road. I also, I'm kind of a value shopper. You know, I like to shop. I like options. I like to have options to shop. And I look forward to having this as an option. I think me and all the neighbors that I know, and I know a bunch of them out there, are excited about this project, and we hope that you'll just allow this. I think you've already recommended approval, and we'd love to see this happen and happen soon. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else present who care to speak in favor of this request? Anyone care to speak in favor? Having seen no one else, is there anyone present who care to speak in opposition? The first person gets 10 minutes, if you choose to, and then after that, 3 minutes. Yes, sir.
10 minutes. Good afternoon. My name is Sharif Dar Khalil, address 4461 Pines Road, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71119. Originally, early of 2025, this land was not zoned for a gas station. So the city council rezoned it. First, they held a neighborhood meeting at the beginning of 2025. At the first neighborhood meeting, nobody approved this project. Everybody was against a gas station to be built there. At the second neighborhood meeting, only a couple of people were in favor of this project. And Councilwoman Bowman stood up and said at the end of the meeting that she will not approve this project. So, and there was a lot of neighbors there that attended. So everybody left. All the neighbors thought that, that this project is not going to be approved. So after that, there was a third neighborhood meeting held, and most of the neighbors there did not know about it. And most of the people that attended that third meeting are not actually residents in that area. And a lot of people, I heard somebody mention, one of the people that came up here, that he mentioned that there was an overwhelming majority of the people that wanted this project, but that majority they're not residents in that area. After that second neighborhood meeting, all the residents in that area thought that this project is not going to be approved, and they did not know about the third neighborhood meeting. And when the city council approved this zoning initially back in June, the rezoning, everybody that came up here and spoke in favor of this rezoning was actually, or most of them, were not even residents. They're just business owners in that area. And I actually sent a petition. Now we can speak about this alcohol license. There was a petition sent to Christian Terrell with about 17 signatures. It was sent in the mail. All these people were against, giving the alcohol license to this project. And one more thing. Now, on that, within like a 2.2 mile stretch on Pines Road, yeah, that's it right there. Within a 2.2 mile stretch, there are 8 businesses that sell alcohol, liquor stores, and fuel stations. Adding a 9th business to sell also beer and wine does not bring any benefit. I wouldn't even call it development. It's not even called a development. Gas station is not a good development for that area. It does not bring any good to the area, a gas station. There's already, within a 2.2 mile stretch, there's already 6 fuel stations, and I'm one of them. I'm the one across the street, and I heard the guy said that we just recently got our alcohol license, which is wrong. We have had it since 2016. It wasn't recently given to us. And there's also a rehab center behind that land. So please keep that in mind. There's a rehab center. And opening a 24-hour business on that is not actually a good idea, because that brings, crime to the area, okay? And that area is already saturated with gas stations and places that sell alcohol. Even the exit on I-20 before and after, it's full of fuel stations, truck stops. One guy mentioned for trucks, if somebody wants to stop, there's a bunch of truck stops. The next exit is already saturated with fuel stations. There is no reason to bring another big corporate store and to step on the little guy like us, because 3 of the 6 convenience stores on that street are independently owned, and so that would actually decimate the business, bringing a corporate business across the street or in that same area. It's already hard to survive, as far as it is, because there's already a lot of stores. So I hope that you guys don't approve this request. Thank you so much.
Are there any questions for this gentleman, Mr. Sharif? Board members? All right, so thank you very much. Is there anyone else present who care to speak in favor, in opposition to this request? I'm sorry, in opposition to this request. All right, hearing none, this is an opportunity for a rebuttal for the applicant if you choose to make a rebuttal.
Yes, thank you, guys. Don't you state mine?
Yes, sir, all over.
Justin Weathers, 2822 Durbin Drive, Houston, Texas, 77043. And just to give my point of view from the way, so he's right. Mrs. Bowman did have, Councilwoman Bowman did have some concerns in the beginning. And the concerns that were raised were about the truck parking, okay? As you guys know, we addressed that. We removed the truck parking. So she then, then we had to have another neighborhood meeting, okay? And there was still some confusion. I was actually not at the second meeting because I got sick with COVID, okay? So for whatever reason, whatever transpired, I can't speak on that. But she wanted us to have yet a third meeting. So that's when, and of course, the same mailers get sent out as got sent out at the first meeting or the second meeting to the third meeting. So whoever, everybody that showed up apparently got something in the mail, or somebody told them within the community, hey, if you're interested, we're having this meeting, you might want to come and voice concerns, which about 25 people did. And at that particular presentation, we were able to show, we had it at a different venue that would allow for a huge screen so we could walk the members of the community through a slideshow, showing them what the construction would look like, different prototypes, different facades that how the building might look, how well it was landscaped, all of the little details that people had voiced concerns about. So as we did, like I said, 100% of the people at that meeting were in support. And so anyway, I just wanted to point that out. Then we had to have the fourth meeting, which was December 15th or December 11th, for the beer and wine. And so here we are today, and we had overwhelming support at that one. And the only, the first I've heard of any opposition is the signatures. So anyway, I hope you guys can see our side and rule in our favor that we can do this nice development at that corner. And like Denny said, potentially continue on from there and do the rest of that 30 acres. So, anytime something happens at a corner, especially a respectable, sophisticated fuel operator as Racetrack, that generates a tremendous amount of interest. So, the Starbucks and the Panda Express and the Golden Chick was a great start. And so we want to continue on up north on Pines and Greenwood. So thank you for your consideration and your time.
Any questions for Mr. Weathers? All right, sir, thank you very much. Board members? Mr. Chairman? Yes, sir, Mr. Robertson.
I'm asking for a little clarification from staff. It's my understanding that we approved the store and the gas sales previously,
Correct.
and now we're asked to approve beer and wine sales.
Correct.
I'm ready to make a motion.
If you, depending on what it is, just remember there's 4 stipulations. Just make sure those are included if
Okay.
it's necessary.
My screen's gone dark, so I don't know what those stipulations are. Maybe staff can read them.
I'm pretty sure Mr. Weathers has those stipulations in his cadre of paperwork already.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
maybe for the benefit of the public, we could just lay out what they are.
All right. Ms. Emily?
These are really just procedural things that they need to address on the site plan, but I'll read them. So they need to show the swept path of the largest vehicle, which a garbage truck or fire truck, just showing how it traverses through the site. That's going to need to be submitted before a building permit can be issued. They'll need to show the minimum stacking spaces, which is 2 stacking spaces measured at each gas pump before the permits can be released. Revised site plan showing the location of the nearest fire hydrant on the same side of the road. And then address all outstanding comments before a building permit can be released. So again, these are really just like site plan procedural type comments. It's nothing that's going to change the layout of the site. Show the swept path of the largest vehicle, garbage truck, fire truck. And if you have any other delivery vehicles, that would match those sizes.
So with those conditions attached, I would motion approval.
I just wanted to verify, the recommendation was for denial. Is that-
No.
It was for,
To approve.
Recommendation is for approval with those stipulations to address the site plan comments.
From the staff. All right. Mr. Robinson, if you'll complete your statement, please.
Motion approval with those conditions as listed by staff.
All right. Do we have a second? Second by Mr. Sater. All those in favor vote yes. Oppositions vote no. All right, the motion passes. Thank you very much. The application has been approved. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We have one case left to walk through. Item number 13, case number 25-146-C, zoning request. Applicant is Shriners Hospital for Children.
Mr. Chair, I think 2 of our members want to make a statement before
I'm
this
sorry?
case is. 2 of our board members want to make statements before
Yes.
this case.
Go ahead. Turn your mic on.
I need to recuse myself from this case.
All right,
likewise, I'll need to recuse myself as well.
all right. Thank you very much, board members. Yes,
Ready
sir.
for me?
Yes, sir.
My name is Desi Sprouls. My business address is 1010 Marshall Street, Shreveport, 71101. I'm here on behalf of Shriners Children's Hospital. All of us are aware of the wonderful work that Shriners does, and they're in a position where they need to expand their campus by adding a 2-story medical office building. And we need to assemble some lots and get it all under a uniform zoning that will allow for the 2-story medical office building to be constructed. And I'll be happy to answer any questions I can.
Board members, any questions? Mr. Robinson?
Mr. Sprouls, thank you. Is there anything in this case that references erecting a billboard facing Interstate 49?
No.
That's all I needed to know. Thank you.
Anyone else? Questions for Mr. Sprouls? Mr. Desi, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else present who care to speak in favor of this request? Yes, sir, please come forward.
I'm Vishal Patel with 3215 Sanford Avenue. I'm that C3 hotel right next door. And we really welcome Mr. Desi and the Shriners team for expanding their operations there. They've been great partners with us at the Sleep Inn and Suites over there. And we just want to let them know that during any time there's development, they can come over, have a cup of coffee, come stay with us. Anything they need, we're there for them. But we just wanted the city council to also kind of take a look at that area, go do a drive-by. It needs some beautification in that area. There's a lot of investment going on, but the streets and some of the utilities over there, like we've had some issues in the last few years, and that could be for a different thing. But we want to continue to develop this area, and I think there needs to be some city focus on that side of town as well. And I guess one of my main concerns would be during this development, and it's not really related to Shriners, but just noise in general, because we are near that railroad track. I don't know if that's something that, that we can have a discussion at one point whenever they start their development, what times they're going to start the work and all that kind of stuff. So just, we're in favor of it, but we just want to be partners together since they're our neighbors and getting this rolling. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Any questions for Mr. Patel? We thank you for keeping that facility available and open. All right. Is there anyone else present who care to speak in favor of this request? Anyone else present who care to speak in favor? Is there anyone present who care to speak in opposition to this request? Any opposition to this request? All right. Seeing none, board members, what's your pleasure?
Move to approve. Second.
Motion by Mr. Moss and second by Mr. Sater. All those in favor, please vote yes. Oppositions, vote no. That motion carries. Mr. Sprouse, thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the items unless someone else knows something I don't know what's to be covered as far as items for review. At this particular time, is there any old business to come before the group? Mr. Moss? Okay. Mr. Jean, any comments that you'd care to make?
I'll be brief.
I think before you do, we always, for some reason, we step right on Mr. Reggie's toes with his report. We want to acknowledge the fact that he has a report on the table, and there was also a report upstairs on cases that we've addressed in the past 5 or 6 months.
Yeah, I was going to give him an opportunity to do that, but we can start with him. That'll be fine.
All right, how y'all doing today? Happy New Year to all y'all. All right, so I'm going to just do the December report for the certificates of occupancy that were issued in comparison of 2024, 2025, and a year to date. So for December of this year, 2025, in District A, we did 1 commercial certificate of occupancy, 1 home base for a total of 2, compared to 30 commercial and 2 home base in 2024 for 32. So that was a difference of 30 in District A. District B, in 2025, we had 3 commercial and 0 home base. They gave us a total of 3 compared to 35 commercial, 1 home base in 24, a total of 36, 33 different for District B. District C, we had a total of 2 commercial, 0 home base. In 25 and 24 in District C, we had 8 commercial, 0 home base, difference of 6. District D, we had 1 commercial, 0 home base in 25. In 24, we had 0 commercial and 1 home base. In District E, we had 1 commercial, 0 home base. In 25, in 24, we had 0 commercial, 1 home base. Both of those districts each had 1 for that. District F, in 2025, we had 1 commercial, 1 home base, a total of 2. Same thing in 2024 for District F. We had 1 commercial, 1 home base, total of 2. District G had 0 in December of 25, where they had 2 commercial last year. So that was a total of 11 certificates of occupancy issued in December of 25 compared to 82 in 24. And as far as the year to date, the year 2025, we had 507 commercial certificates of occupancy issued. Compared to 24, we had 614. In 25, we had 205 home-based certificates issued compared to 233 in 2024. And that's the certificates of occupancy that were issued for December and for the year.
Thank you very much, sir. All right. Mr. James?
Thank you, Reggie. So what I'm going to try to do at each one of these meetings is make sure you're fully aware of what has happened on cases that may have occurred previously and whether they were appealed or whether or not they were approved. But I just want the highlights. I think we're all aware of what happened with the data center, that it was overturned with a unanimous vote after it was appealed to City Council. The Take 5 oil change was approved last month. It was appealed to City Council, but it was postponed and will be heard at the next City Council meeting. We will be moving forward with obtaining approval for this from City Council regarding the approval of the One Shreveport Master Plan. We have 60 days to get those in front of the City Council. We chose to hold that back one meeting so we'd have a little bit shot of more of a spotlight because it would have been on the same agenda as the data center. So it will appear in the next agenda. That's all I have for today.
I believe you, okay, any questions about what Mr. Jeans talked about? I believe you got some material you're gonna pass out. We had a request a couple of months ago.
Yes, we sure do.
You care to tell us a little bit about that?
So there was a request to know what the terms of office for each of the members, and so this will answer that request. So it's being passed out now, and you can see what your individual terms are and when they expire. And we'll make sure that those that are absent today also make sure they get a copy of that. We can send that via email.
All right, so if you're wondering if you're still on the board, there's your answer right there. I believe, and in honesty, Mr. Robertson requested this in November. And here's your answer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're quite welcome. Any other comments from board members? Mr. Everson?
Yeah, I'd just like to recognize and thank Mr. Jean for stepping in once again as interim director of the MPC and helping the MPC out through this whole term and process. And we appreciate your efforts and know that you're going to do a great job leading the staff. Thank you.
We have a great team here.
Having heard that, we have, yes, sir, Mr. Robertson.
Mr. Chairman, I'm assuming that the members of the board are aware of the comments made by the mayor concerning the structure of the MPC.
Yes, sir.
I would, as one member, like to extend an invitation to the mayor to attend one of our public meetings and explain his thought process.
You're taking that on as a personal project?
It's just me talking here, Mr. Chairman. I just would like to hear from the mayor directly from the horse's mouth what he has to say about how we're set up.
Well, if you care to do that, I would suggest that it would be a personal request on your part. At this stage of the game, and I've said this publicly, I said it upstairs and I'll say it again, and I've said it to the staff in its entirety back in December, and I'll repeat it again today publicly. At this particular time, the MPC organization, as we know it, will operate business as usual, just like we done today. And anything that we've heard or had said in the news media, until something comes to us in writing, we will operate business as usual.
Can I get some clarification on the ability of commission members to add items to our agendas?
Very simple, contact the executive director, and I believe there's a protocol for that, and Mr. Jean will be glad to explain that to you.
Is there a process?
We'll entertain that. You can talk with him after I join the meeting.
Yes, there is a process, and it's outlined in the bylaws.
It's outlined in the bylaws of the MPC,
Yes,
Got a
sir.
question?
which I could find online.
I will make sure you have a copy of it, as well as each member of this board.
Well, that would be great, Mr. Chairman.
Good. Mr. Moss?
I'm not going to be long. I just want to say something. So I'm with Mr. Roberts, kind of echoing what he's saying. On last month, we did have a controversial decision to be made around this horseshoe. And we don't get elected to these positions. We don't. We get appointed to these positions, okay? And we put a lot of hard work and time into what we do. I think everybody's phone was going crazy during this time about this data system. I want to put it to bed, but one thing that I just want to put on record by saying is that I didn't appreciate the comments that the mayor made because they were bully tactics, and it subsedes what we do on this commission. And some type of apology or something needs to be on record to us because it wasn't right. When we make a decision in here, we make a decision that's based on the community and we go by these reports. So some of the things that were said in the media, they were true, what he said, and he talked about everybody on this board. He cherry picked 4 people on this committee, and I was one of them. So I work hard at what I do, and I put my all in everything I do. But for somebody to use bully tactics, and it's the mayor, that's not acceptable. So some type of form, I don't know if he can come here, a letter or something. Something needs to be done and said about it because we put too much work into what we do here on this commission. That's all I want to say.
All right. Do I have a motion behind that? Motion to adjourn. All right. This meeting is now adjourned. Officer, one of these days we're going to have pizza like y'all been talking about, okay?
We'll just go ahead.